How's it going, everybody? Doing a request here today. This is the third time I'm trying to film this. The cat comes in here and starts screeching with her annoying screech at one of the other cats, and I'm just like, no. So, quickly turn that off. But, gum chewing video game reviews. I'm going to do 2 games here today. The first one here is Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures for the Super Nintendo. I'm going to review shorter games because it's just easier, because I don't need to remember a ton of stuff. If I do longer games, I'll probably have to jot down some notes just to remember parts of the game so I don't leave a ton of stuff out. But, Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures. This came out in 94. I never played this. When I originally had my Super Nintendo back in the day. Never had it. 94, I was still, I was playing Final Fantasy 3, or 6 in Japan, 3 here. It's one of the last Super Nintendo games I really played. Was back then. I played obviously ones now and after, but back in this initial run, never played this one. It's in the vein of the Super Star Wars games. Has that look. I enjoyed this one. I played the other 3 Super Star Wars games. I enjoyed this one more than those. It's not as hard. It's got 3 difficulty settings: easy, normal, and hard. I had on normal for a bit, played it. I was getting a little annoyed. It's the thing when I go back with these games, I'll make it easier for myself if I can. And on easy, it's not even, there's parts that are tough, but at least you can enjoy it more. There's still parts that are a pain in the ass, though, because, you have to whip. Some places you have to whip, and you still may miss it. It's pretty precise. You gotta, be right near that thing, or you'll miss the next thing to grab onto with your whip, and you'll fall. But it's fun to play. It follows the 3 movies. Obviously not Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because it was out 14 years later. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. It does a good job of recreating, for a 16-bit game, and the Super Star Wars did this as well. It does a really good job of recreating the atmosphere of those movies. It really does a good job with it. It looks really good. It looks really good. India has pretty good animation, actually. The whip, you can't go nuts with a whip like you could in Super Castlevania 4, where you can kind of just it's basically going an angle up, side to side and whatever. But you can get a gun it points to, and then you have to switch with the select button. You got to switch to between your gun and you can't have them both out at the same time. You can fight with your fists as well, which the part when you're on the tank in Last Crusade, you fight a dude on top, and you can only use your fists against him. It's kind of cool. You got to go, and then it will fall off the cliff like it does in the movie. Like I said, it recreates the movies really good. 16-bit game for sure. A little voice snippet with a pretty good indie sound alike. It's just like, let's go, in the beginning, and then when you die, you'll have Sean Connery on there. He spouts a line from the movie. He's like, I lost him. Continue. It's a password system on here for each level. Sorry. My favorite, Last Crusade is probably my favorite. There are some boss fights in there. You fight the dude who guards the Grail. It's really a skeleton you fight. He takes his head off and rolls it out and stuff, and he's kind of standing there. So a few boss fights, nothing that crazy. There's some pretty, devious platforming. These games are classic. If you get hit by someone, you go into a pit type stuff. Enemies include the Germans. I can't remember the guys from the Last Crusade who are defending the Grail. I don't know why you'd be fighting them at the end. So at that point, you're all on the same side with them. They're enemies. There's bats in the Temple of Doom and other guys. There's always people related to each movie. It's cool. There's a few Mode 7 levels in each. Well, no, actually, I believe Raiders of the Lost Ark part had one. Temple of Doom had 2. It had the minecart one, of course, and it had when you're on the raft in the movie. It's on the raft when the guy jumps out of the helicopter, and all of a sudden they wake up and the plane's going down. That's a cool one. The minecart one's kind of annoying. And the Last Crusade, the plane one, is kind of annoying as well. You got to shoot down planes and stuff after you do the blimp part. It's also Temple of Doom actually got a lot of cool parts. There's a part where it's the beginning where you get poisoned, and you got to run, and this guy's shooting at you, and you got to hide behind things and then move as it goes along, while taking out a few enemies along the way. So that's cool. Last Crusade does the same thing too when you're in the sewer part, when he tries to find the crypt, the coffin for the one guy. You got to avoid the fire, same kind of thing. You got to jump down and hide. So it's cool gameplay. It looks great. Even for a 16-bit game, even now, you know, you look at it, it looks good. The gameplay's fun. Like I said, on normal, on easy, you know, it is pretty easy, but on normal, it's not that bad either. The Super Star Wars games are much harder, even on just normal, even on easy for that matter. It's cool though, like I said. I mean, the animation's pretty good. Pretty good variation on enemies. Platforming is cool. There's parts that are annoying if you miss a whip spot, because there's a few points where you have to whip a few times. If you miss it, you could fall into a pit. And like other games back then, if you get hit by a guy and you go backwards into a pit, it's annoying. You collect hearts to gain lives, to gain health back. There's other little like things, jewel type things you collect that just help your score. And like I said, it follows the movie excellent. You know, you go through each thing, you have all the little traps from Last Crusade and stuff. And stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, it's cool. It's cool on that front. And it's cool to get all 3 games put in there, which is fun. I would definitely check this out if you have a Super Nintendo and you never played it. I said I never did. I just never got around to it. Like I said, it was a weird time, because this would have come out when I was in 9th grade, I guess possibly 10th, depending on when it came out in 94. Could have been the beginning of 10th or the second half of 9th. But I had a weird time in high school, and you're out fucking hanging out with friends and stuff, and smoking some weed, you know, whatever you're doing, drinking and stuff. I wasn't playing as many games. I still played some of the sport games, and I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy 3. Like I said, 6 in Japan, 3 here, but I wasn't going nuts with the games at that point. And the N64 came out, and I started to get more and more into it again. But definitely check this out. I would give this game an 8 out of 10. It's solid. There are annoying parts, for sure, but it looks great. The Mode 7 parts are kind of annoying, except the part when you're on the raft and you gotta just jump over little gaps and stuff when you're going through the woods. Combat's fun, you know. It's like I said, it's a great recreation of the 3 movies, especially in the 16-bit era. It's a really good recreation. So definitely check this out if you have a Super Nintendo, if you've never played it. It's not that expensive. You get it probably, I don't know how much it was paid for. Like I said, I got it for Christmas, but I was looking on eBay, anywhere between like 15 and 25, depends. This one's got, you know, a little mark on it and stuff, but it's nothing, whatever. I don't care about that as long as games works. Yeah, that's the first one. Second game is, I mentioned the other video, Unravel 2. Played on the Xbox One with my girlfriend, and we got it because it's a 2-player game. I was like, I love the first one. First one was not co-op. It's online co-op and local, which is cool because you don't get a lot of local co-op games anymore. But first one was not. First one was adorable. It had this cute look to it. Music's good. It looks great. This one, same thing, except you add a second Yarny into the mix. You get like thrown off a ship in the beginning. You're on like a little island type thing. And you have the second one, you meet another Yarny, and you're attached to each other, so there's a lot of it involves, you know, cooperation throughout the game. Now, playing with one player, I tried a little bit. You gotta hit the Y button to like take control of the other person, but your other character, the other Yarny, will stay in the spot where the second player would be. There's parts in that game that would probably be annoying with only one person, but you can also hit the button, even in 2-player, and hop on the other person's kind of back. You know, there's some devious platform. There's a lot more platforming in this one than the first. Some of it's, you know, tough. I mean, there's one where there's a bunch of flames and stuff, and you're up top, and one person holds you, and you kind of descend on the yarn, and you got to avoid the flames by going. It's cool. It's really cool. Like I said, this one looks great. you're kind of following the story of two other kids. I don't know if you like represent the same thing, but they're like running from people, and you kind of help them out at points. There's collectibles in each level, which can be tough to get. There's challenge levels you can do, which some are really hard. We've beaten 8 of the 12 so far. There's 7 levels, like regular levels in the main game. It's not super long, but there is replayability. You know, if you want to go back and get the hidden stuff or do the challenge stuff. Some of it really, you need 2 players to do some of the challenge things, but some you can do it with just one. Some it makes more sense to do it with one. But it's cool. It's a good game. You got to really cooperate in it and do stuff. You can help each other out. It's cute as hell, like the other one. You can customize your yarnies with different heads and colors and body shapes. Not that the body shapes aren't really that different, but the heads are pretty. You have a different amount. Like when you do the challenges, you have to save little other yarnies at the end. I'm pretty sure they're called yarnies. And you have to do. You do things and then you get a new one, and you can unlock more options to create a character, you know, to change it up a little bit. I think it's head, eyes, body, and color are the 4 things you can change. It's cool. The puzzles are cool in the game, and sometimes you got to think and figure it out. You can do wall jumping and stuff. It controls very well. I didn't know how it would do with 2 players, but it controls really well. I actually, it was pretty smooth. You know, you'll die in it, you'll fall off your thing or land in flames and stuff. But it's not overly tough, but some of those challenge levels are. And you could also, to get gold medals, you gotta beat levels without dying in a certain amount of time and stuff. So there's replayability there for sure. You know, so it looks great. It's fun to play. It's very adorable for a game, but it's fun. It's cool to sit down with someone in the same room and play some co-op with them, you know. Occasionally we'll get annoyed with each other because, you know, one person will keep dying or something. But like I said, at the end of the day, you can just hop on the person's back, and if you're having a little bit of trouble with the part, you know, we did that a few times. You're having a little bit of trouble, let the other person do it, you know. Not really that, you know, you're not like really going each other's throats or anything, but cool game. I got it for $6 on sale. I think it's normally 20 maybe or 15, but it was 6, and I'm like, let's just get it. I'll get it. Well worth it. Like I said, there's replayability, so we'll go back and try to beat the remaining. Or maybe there's 6. Is there 16 challenge levels? I don't know. It's at least 12. Maybe it's just 12. And they range from like hard, super hard, and whatever, hard, harder, and hardest. I think 3. There's like 1, 2, and 3 of the levels, and some of them are, wow. You got to be quick. You got to be thinking ahead. You got to be doing things precisely and stuff. It's not easy. There's parts in the game where you get like chased by like wild turkeys or something, and logs will roll after you. There's fire behind you and stuff. So some stuff like that. Like I said, the all environments all look great. Like then the first one was the same way. It looks really good. Really enjoyed that game a lot. That game I would give a 8.5 to. I'd say really good game. It's fun. It's fun platforming, you know. And with 2 people, it's still good. Like you'll be swinging from your. Like I said, you use the yarn for your puzzle. So there's little things in the environment you got to grab. Sometimes you got to tie 2 yarns together and bounce off of them. Or you got to pull stuff with the yarn. You know, sometimes you got to throw the yarn over so you can pull the other person over the side. You know, everything involves your yarn. So and it's different with the 2. You don't like run out of yarn. Like if you're tied to a few spots, you'll run out of yarn and won't be able to move. But it's not like the first one where you had to collect more yarn, so you built it up because you would lose it as you went along. This one you don't have that. There's these little like flame type things that will chase you in levels too. They got to avoid it. You die when you hit them. But really cool game for sure. Definitely pick that one up for sure. If you like the first one, you played the first one. I think it was Coldwood Studios did it. Soundtrack's really cool. It has if people have ever seen Deadwood, the opening theme of Deadwood. It's that kind of folksy type, country-ish type sound, I guess. So I don't really know how to exactly describe that genre, but it has that feel. I really like that tunes, and it fits the game well. So definitely check it out if you're into a co-op game. It's well worth. It's probably worth $20 too. I think I like about in the game store, you can get that stuff for free. The first one is available on EA Access right now. The second one is not. But yeah, there's 2 reviews there. I think I covered everything. I probably missed some stuff till even these kind of games, but definitely check both games out if you have the systems. For sure, they're both fun. Well worth your time for sure. But thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.